Time on the water is sacred. It's why you're here, to gain confidence in your abilities and unlock the world of water for yourself, your family, and your friends. Hi, I'm Adrian.
And I'm Karen. Together, we're gonna walk you through the basics of boating so you can experience the joy and the freedom of being out on the water and go boldly into each adventure that comes your way. Your anchor will be a key piece of good memories, whether you set up at a sandbar with your family and friends or post up over a spot to fish.
It's also an important tool in emergencies. If you lose power, it will keep you from drifting toward hazards, which is why you should never leave home without an anchor.
When choosing the right anchor, a general rule is to have 1 pound of anchor per foot of boat.
There are many types of anchors. To understand which types will work best on seabeds in your area, talk to a licensed captain, your local boat dealer, or a marina.
Once you have your anchor, you'll need a length of chain to attach it to and a stretch of nylon rope to attach them both to your boat. This whole anchor line system is what's called your anchor road. Generally, you should have 1 foot of chain per foot of boat.
Having 10 feet of line for every foot of depth will prepare you for all conditions. This 10-to-1 ratio is what's referred to as scope.
You'd only use that much scope in particularly heavy winds and strong currents, while a scope of 5-to-1 would be sufficient in mild conditions. Basically, if your anchor starts slipping, let more line out. The more scope you have out, the more likely your anchor will stay set.
Use a dark-colored marker or waterproof paint to mark your anchor line at 25-foot intervals to help you track the line you let out.
When preparing to anchor, start by reading the drift. To do that, establish the direction of the wind and current and determine where you want to be.
Ideally, you have one person to operate the boat while another tends to the anchor. Toss the anchor and feed the line out, keeping your arms and legs clear of the outgoing line.
When you're where you want to be, tie the line off to a bow cleat. The current against your boat should do the work, but you can also bump into reverse to help set your anchor.
If you miss your target, you can always let more line out or bump the boat forward and retie. It's a good idea to have a knife readily accessible. If you're surprised by a change in conditions or a boater that isn't paying attention, you may need to cut your line to stay out of harm's way.
To retrieve the anchor, throttle forward to release tension and reel in the line as you go to avoid tangling it in your prop. Once the line is vertical, tie it to the cleat and use the boat's momentum to free the anchor, then pull it in.
If you plan to drop your boat in another body of water, make sure to thoroughly clean and dry your anchor before using it again. This will help prevent spreading aquatic hitchhikers into areas they shouldn't be and preserve bodies of water you enjoy.
When anchoring around other vessels, try to separate yourself as much as possible. You don't know how much scope they've let out, and you don't want to risk swinging into one another when the wind changes.
When you're anchoring at sandbars or along the beach, a second smaller anchor will come in handy. It'll often be busy, so it's best to set your main anchor while backing in. When lined up, you'll use your smaller secondary anchor off the stern. This system will keep you from drifting into nearby boats.
With the right setup and a little know-how, your anchor will be a key ingredient of your adventures to come. It's good times, great people, and beautiful spots from here on out.
Thanks for taking the time to watch this episode of Freshwater Boating Basics, presented by Mercury Marine.